afternoon. My name is Jagdeep Alwali. I'm the founding secretary of the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, Greater Houston, which I currently serve as executive director. I'd like to begin by thanking Siva Yenneti, president of ITVibes, web design and online marketing company specializing in digital marketing and business growth strategies, for accepting our invitation to speak today. We're also grateful to Elite Restaurant for graciously hosting today's event and for the wonderful food. I'd like to acknowledge the IACCGH Executive Committee. Our past president and board secretary Ashok Garg is with us today. Thank you. Our board members, our directors at large, and our advisors for their service to the chamber and the community. We are grateful to our event sponsors, Centerpoint Energy and Wallace Bank. A heartfelt thank to the sister chambers that we work with, the Fort Bend Chamber of Commerce. We have a representative of the Fort Bend Chamber standing. Will you stand and just say hello? Hello. The Houston East End Chamber, the Texas West Africa Chamber, the Filipino American Chamber, the Asian Chamber. Over 25 years, our chamber has proudly served the business community and collaborated closely with these and other organizations. We truly appreciate the support in promoting today's event along with our community partners and our media partners. We are especially thankful to our long-term sponsors whose continued support enables us to serve the greater Houston community. Brasking, St. Luke's Health, AV Diamonds, Centerpoint Energy. Special thanks to the 2024 Gala Underwriters, DPEG Foundation and Wallace Bank, and to Shell for sponsoring our distinguished lecture and Women in Business Series. It's now my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Siva Yenneti. With over 20 years of experience in software development and digital marketing, he brings a deep understanding of how business can leverage technology for growth. His passion lies in designing and optimizing websites that not only look great, but also generate leads, boost customer engagement, and enhance brand visibility. As president of ITVibes, Siva leads a team dedicated to help small businesses grow through comprehensive all-in-one digital solutions, ranging from web development and SEO to social media and content marketing. One of ITVibes' most significant accomplishments is its track record in helping local businesses scale their online presence and achieve tangible marketing results. Please join me in welcoming Siva Yenneti.
Good afternoon. I know it's hard to focus after lunch, but we'll make it as easy for you guys. Today's topic is one of the hottest topics that's gone on forever, particularly post-COVID. This has become very important with all the companies going more digital transformation. You probably have noticed this, post-COVID, we all have ADD now. We can't focus on one thing. We are data overloaded. Our Chrome browsers have 50 tabs and we don't know where the music is coming from. So we're all confused, and everything moved to mobile first. So everybody's on the go. They're doing multitasking, they're calling, they're recording, they're chatting, they're looking at stuff. And Houston, they're driving too with that phone on. So it's a crazy world we live in. So we, again, with AI introduction, last year it was all about the name that's in the market. This year, it's about happening. So the new term that you all want to learn is the AI agents that actually help you build your business. Instead of fighting it, let's embrace it, because I know a lot of people are still confused about AI taking it over. A lot of stuff have become easier, so you don't need as much people, and a lot of the jobs, it's kind of taking it over. But what we see, web design marketing agency as an agency, it is the greatest opportunity right there, because our employees now service more customers with ease without having to struggle a lot, because a lot of these tools bring speed into your organization. But you need to know what that means to you. For example, the presentation that we're going to talk about today is 70% written by AI tool. So, I mean, you can think that I'm lazy, but I like to be lazy. That's what Bill Gates say, you know, if you want to get your stuff done quickly, hire lazy people because they'll find a way to get it done. And then AI is doing that now. But you also have to humanize the whole process. But you need to know what tools bring this, because I do not want to spend 2 days, 3 days, you know, figuring this out. Rather, let the AI tool give me the base and foundation. Then I get in and make changes to my, you know, how I want it, and then send it to them. All right, so we'll talk about all that. I will be available after the presentation to take your questions. If you got any specific problem that you're dealing with in terms of the mobile, digital, or software services, I can give you an answer now, or we can also set up a follow-up meeting so we can jump on the Zoom and talk more. Sounds fair? All right. So let's go to the first slide. Typically, I like to start off any presentation with a joke. That way, you all are awake. There we go. You good? Quite? Yeah. All right. So this guy goes to a club, and he goes to a girl, and he goes directly to her and says, "Hey, I'm rich. Will you marry me?" That's direct marketing. So this guy goes to the club, to the girl, they talk a lot, and they kind of have a good time, and she leaves the club, and next day he calls her and says, "Hey, I'm rich, will you marry me?" That's telemarketing. You know, this guy goes to the club, and you know, they're chatting, he's helping her with the bag, with the drinks, with all of that stuff. That's public relations. You know, this guy goes to the club, he's doing his own business, he sits there having his nice bourbon, whatever he likes, and then the girl gets up, comes to him and says, "Hey, you're rich, will you marry me?" That's brand recognition. So you guys want to build that, because it's easier for attract people to you as consumers coming to you than you going to multiple people. There is a difference between a push marketing versus a pull marketing. All right, there's a lot of stats also. I think this may be available online for them to look at. You know that most consumers now use everything online to look up, research, find what's going on, and even they don't make a decision, they're still finding you all the time. I know word of mouth is still very powerful because everybody gets a lot of business through that, but also remember, now with the word of mouth, it's also shifted with an online research, because the first thing anybody will pull up when they hear your name is your website. And they kind of look up for elements that attract them. It's not the boring sales pitch, because they know everything you put on the website is sales pitch. Because nobody says, "I'm not a good guy, but you can hire me," right? Because you'll tell the best that you are the best. So what they're looking for is the social media elements that are more ongoing, that kind of helps them to relate to other people who are commenting, liking, and engaging with your with your posts and with your content. That's how they want to connect with you. The other thing that a lot of businesses who come to us lack is building reviews online. I don't know why they don't do it, but they use it every time. We don't buy anything with our own decision. Have you guys noticed that? You don't watch the movie with your own decision. You're looking for reviews. Amazon, reviews. You go to a restaurant, reviews. You go to any place, in a hotel or flights, everything is based on reviews. So basically, other people are telling us what to do, and we do it. Because I love this product on Amazon. It's amazing. It has 3 stars. I will never buy it. I'm okay with this product, but it got the 5 stars with so many people, I'll definitely buy it. So you want to build that trust factor, because you would not have enough time to connect with these people, because nobody's calling nobody anyways. They talk to you through your website, and with the new AI tools, they want to learn more about you, because they could be browsing your website at 1 o'clock in the night because they can't sleep. They had too much drinks, and now they want every question to be answered through the website. That's what the way the AI chatbots come into play, which can actually look at all your website, all your blog posts, every knowledge base you have, every PDF that you have, every document you have, you can give it to the AI chatbot and say, all the answers are here, and let your consumer ask any question. The chatbot can look at everything, it learns to the model, and gives the answer right there. That's the power of AI now. And so that completely changes the consumer's experience. Because remember, usability of a website takes the most precedence than the looks. We'll go to the next one. Again, if you are in the business for a while, you know this. Majority of the people or consumers or the customers that we deal with before they come to us fail because it's not that they do not have a good product. It's not that their service is bad. It's just that they don't know how to reach out to people and impress them and stay in touch with them because they don't know how to nurture the process. Nobody wants to buy from you because you said hello and my name is Siva Yenneti with ITVibes. No, they want to check you out. They want to learn more about you. They want to stay in touch with you. So the biggest aspect that a lot of people are missing is staying in touch with your consumers, continuously reaching out through social media, email marketing. That nurture builds that connection so that these people convert as customers. And a lot of people lack that. And because there are tools that need to be built and also education to use the tools. A lot of people sign up with the tools because it's easy. I don't know if anybody uses CRM tools or email marketing tools. The first thing we do is we get excited about the video they showed. Oh man, I love this. Click a button, pay for it. 6 months later, I talk about it. Hey, you bought the tool, what happened? I don't know, where it is. Oh, so you're not using it? Nope. A year later, they're not still using it. So it's not the tool, it's the implementation education that matters. So you always need to plan the second part first before you go buy the tool. So today we'll talk about a lot of the website, social media. Again, generally I cover all that during the talk. I'm not like a slides guy. That's what one thing, I don't have a structure. So it's very hard for me to go to ballet and learn it because they want a structure. I can never do that, but it's easy to just learn my free dance and I can do it. All right, so anything that kind of interests anybody here and having this kind of a real problem, if you want me to stop, we can talk about it as a question too. All right, next. So typical challenges we have seen with small businesses is one, lack of money. Somebody said that, absolutely, because they don't have the budgets. And particularly with this crazy market right now, we don't know what's next tomorrow. And everybody's confused. The fear index is very high. Everybody is every day is a new game. So we are dealing with that in a real time. A lot of competition out there with big brands who have the money. A lot of tech options. When you think that, yeah, you got it, everything changed right now on the landscape. Customer behavior has changed. We said very low attention span. Everybody wants things now, not tomorrow, not 2 days ago, 2 days later. They need everything now. So when they call you, when you need to be there to answer questions, your website need to specifically answer the question right there because they will not call you to answer, ask those questions. Where is the opportunity? If you understand these tools, there's a lot of good things that you can play well than your competitors. Let the slow market or the inflation or whatever we're dealing with right now with all this situation, geopolitics, let that all grab your competition because they can't keep up. This is your opportunity to stay up, keep moving forward. 2020 with COVID, there was so much confusion in the market. There were people not knowing what to do with small businesses. We ended up buying 2 companies. That's your market value opportunity. So, there is always opportunity out there. You just have to look for it. Like we talked about, push is about you, pull is about the consumer. So the second part wins better because it's all about why am I coming to you than going to the other guy? That's what the answer should be. So when you talk to them, you make them the hero of your story. You're not the hero. So a lot of the people confuse themselves that I own this business, I am the product guy, I'm the service guy, I'm going to talk about me. No, don't do that. On your website, you want to tell what problems you're solving, how did you do this for others with case studies, and if you get any testimonials, I highly recommend you put it on the homepage because people don't have the the patients to go to third page on your website anymore. They max look for 2 pages. That's it. After that, they leave because there's so much going on with the data overload. So fill it up with them so that they can connect with you. The website optimization, everything now is mobile first because everybody is through mobile coming to your website. So make sure your mobile optimization is built in. A lot of websites have this problem. They load very slow, and people don't have the patience. 3 seconds, 4 seconds pass, they're already gone because nobody wants to sit there and wait for your website to load. Value prop, that's another thing is, what are you offering to your consumers? Need to be the first statement they're gonna read, not what you do. Of course, easy navigation. Lot of the times, they have a lot of pages, but it's all hidden everywhere, and nobody's clicking around 5-6 clicks nowadays to go around. Like they want in and out. 3 clicks is the max that we recommend for the experience. And call to action. A lot of websites don't have a phone number or a form submission available right away. I want to make a decision. I want to ask you a question out of live chat. I want things now, and I'm talking to 3 people. Can you answer my question right now through live chat? If you don't have all those tools, the new generation particularly, they're very impatient. They need answers now, that otherwise they're gone somewhere else. The biggest strategies that you can look for, again, all of this is very important. It's very simple. Again, that's the best part. You want to put testimonials, reviews, like I was talking about, case studies. Put all your winning horses on your website. Why are you not doing that? Because they're not going to ask you that question. It's too late because they're gone somewhere else, even through word of mouth, because they might have gotten as a word of mouth from 4 people in terms of, because sometimes they ask this question on LinkedIn, Facebook, and when they get 3 or 4 names, how are they going to pick you versus the other people? Customer photos, reviews, and anything live chat, we talked about it, and pain points, clearly talk about what is the failure that they are going through and exactly connects them to come to you and how you did this for other customers and remedied their problem. We need to tell stories because everybody loves stories. We all watch movies day in, day out. There's always a hero, there's always a villain, and there is always a problem, and there's always a confusion, and in the end, the hero wins. Your hero is your consumer, and he has a problem. He's coming to you. You have to fix it, and the villain is the problems they're going through, the external factors and the internal factors. And there is actually, if you want to look up everything that I just talked about, it's called SB7 framework, storyboard. If you're building something now in terms of your marketing or your website or any digital assets, I would recommend going through that as an SB7. It's very important. Plus, it's also easy to follow, kind of gets you the results you're looking for in the most easy way. I just put in a success story up there, like some catering company we work with a small tweaks on the website and their social. They got like 40% increase in their contact form requests. If you're looking to build it, we can help you, or again, take this information to your vendor, talk to them and see what they can do to help you out. All right, we're good. Again, social media has been with us forever, and a lot of small businesses are still struggling to get on it. When Twitter came, this was like 15 years ago, I was giving presentations about Twitter, and everybody was like, what is a Twitter? Like, they don't know what it is, they made fun of that. Now it's of course X, and it's kind of become a giant by itself. But a lot of these things are very easy to use, except of course they do need your consistency and commitment. That, like anything we do in the world, right? Like in our life, you have a physical fitness goals. Just getting a gym membership is not going to cut it. I mean, that would be great. I would sign up with 5 gym membership and I'm perfect. No, you still have to go to the gym and you still have to work out. Plus, you have to keep it up throughout. You can't go in for 3 months, 6 months and stop. So same thing with social media. There's a lot of difference in terms of what systems and channels that you could use. If you're a B2B company, LinkedIn is the best bet. If it's B2C, Facebook and Instagram, we generally recommend at least 3 to 4 of those to mix it up. That way you get the best results overall. I put in some strategy that you could kind of do build. That's one thing that a lot of businesses miss is they sign up on Facebook, they sign up on LinkedIn, now they don't know what to do with it. The posting strategy has to have a strategy because you are dealing with consumers.
I also want to mention that I signed up for Facebook 7 years ago when Facebook was still new, but I never went back to look at it. And we had put our gala up on the Facebook, and I had 10 people who said we are coming to the gala, but they had not registered. So we were sold out, so I had to tell them, I'm sorry, I was not going to get my Facebook, but we don't have scenes for you. So if you subscribe to any of these services, remember to look at them and keep them up to date.
Yeah.
Personal experience.
Yeah, that's absolutely, because people are now communicating not in 1, 2, 3 channels. They're going everywhere. We get Messenger requests, we got WhatsApp requests, because people use what they like, what they're comfortable with. We need to be there to play in the same sandbox. You can't say, I don't use any of these tools, you got to call me, and nobody's going to call you. This is the going, with Gen Y, the millennials, now the Gen Z is coming into play. I'll be retiring before I deal with them because I can't. I don't even know what to say. Their language is different, the way they say things, the way they look at things is different. You probably deal with your kids and you're like, wait, what is this? Okay, I don't want to deal with you as a customer anymore. Next. Top challenge. Yes.
So how come Instagram wasn't mentioned on there, because small businesses thrive on Instagram?
They do. Is that the question?
Yeah.
Okay. So Instagram is Facebook, and they kind of go hand in hand, right? Because Facebook owns Instagram and WhatsApp. So the way Instagram is, we are, plus everybody else, right? We are the generation of scrolling zombies. Everybody's scrolling. Like, use the mobile, you see that their thumb is moving up and down because they're scrolling. Nobody's reading anything. If you really see, they don't know the full news, because they didn't read the full article. They just read the headlines and they go to the next one, scroll. So Instagram is the biggest scrolling community because people are addicted to the Instagram Reels, plus the information that you put in. The more you put in, the more they see it, the more they know your brand. This is very good for B2C if you're going after the consumer base. But I would say B2B also, we do it because end of the day, a president of a company is still scrolling, right? So that's the new generation way of spending time. The whole family goes on vacation to Hawaii, they're sitting at the beach and they're scrolling. That's it. They don't talk to each other. They post pictures. Hey, we're in Hawaii, but we're scrolling. I would rather put a video of a Hawaii picture and then sit at home and do that. Spend, save money. The biggest challenge again is producing content. I understand this. I used to be a content producer when I started the company. It was hard. But again, consistency is the key to the play. You've got to do it on a regular basis. It gets better. But moving forward 15 years, I don't do this anymore. My team does it. Even my LinkedIn profile, I don't manage it. It's consistently being posted, but it's the team doing it. So you definitely want, if you have other things to deal with, like as in your role, you need someone else to manage all of this for you because it's very hard for you to stop and go. And this will always be in the back burner. Oh yeah, you know what? I'll talk about this tomorrow. I'll post next week, and that's never coming. Content is the key to the whole thing. Again, whatever tools you use, email marketing, CRM, if you're using social media tools, if you don't have a good content, don't buy those yet. Because that's where the failure point is, and you'll end up paying for all those tools, and you will never get to finish it up. So make sure you have a good content strategy, build to it, and typically we say 80%, 80-20 rule is, I follow that a lot because again, remember I'm very lazy. I only pick the first highest 20% that gives me the most 80% yield. That's how I operate. Because I don't have time for that 80% of stuff that only gives me 20%, right? So, because that's what you see in your customer base, the top 20% is what pays for the 80% of your revenue. The other customers, yeah, those are good for volume, but they are actually the most troublemakers. That's what I deal with more. So 80-20 is a great for content. You value-added content and work with others in engagement in 80% of your time. 20% of your time should be about you and posting about your company and your services and your products. By the way, remember, this is all built by the AI. The images, the format, everything is built by the AI. So that's the power we're looking at. It made my life more easier. It was easy before when the team came in. Now I use a lot of the tools because I don't need the team to do a lot of the stuff. They can focus on the customers. And a lot of these things, my proposals, heavy-based opportunity statements that I sent to, like an ERP proposal that we submitted to a client, built by AI. I just modify it a little bit, humanize it, and send it over.
Does the AI module make sure that you're not breaking any copyright? The reason I ask is, many years ago, we got a letter from an attorney saying that on one of our invitations, we had two people shaking hands. And they said that was a copyrighted piece of graphics, and they wanted $5,000. And I understand that there are people out there who run small law firms just searching websites to find somebody who's used a graphic by mistake with that copyright. We of course talked to one of our chamber members. He sent them one letter and the case was closed. But my question is, how does that apply to the current AI situation where they find the graphics and put them in? Do they check copyright or not?
They actually don't find graphics and put it, they create the graphics. So it's real time. A lot of these graphics, this one is what I found, but if you see, I think the previous slide, if you can move, that's actually created by AI. So that graphic is nowhere else, it's only created for me. And it looks beautiful, it's pretty, great colors, and if I have to give one of my guys to build like that, there's a lot of back and forth and I have to explain, it's probably different looking. Yeah. Greatest opportunity that a lot of people miss is Google My Business. This has been as old as a lot of the community-based businesses. And I go to their website, the Google My Business, there are no reviews, there's no postings, their entire website has the Google My Business profile has wrong information. A lot of people search on Google and that's the first thing they see right there about your company, and you should be building that up as much as possible to get more people eyeball you, plus give a connection even before they end up on your website. Right? If you know what I'm talking about, the Google My Business. Yeah, the Google My Business, when you search for ITVibes, for example, there is a placard right next to it after the search results that talks about ITVibes, who we are, and the reviews we have, and all the services we offer, and the posts we do. Everything is about the business. It's like a bird's eye view before they even click on the link on Google to go to my website. And people are looking for reviews, and that information brings me more people. That's because they are very attracted, and I ask them, how did you hear about us? That's one thing you definitely want to check. And when I check this, like your profile, the reviews, these are the common things they generally say. The reviews, the testimonials, we saw your website, it looks very different than every other website. A lot of people do use these canned images like shaking hands with suits and all. People don't look at those anymore. If you look at itvibes.com website, it's completely unique than a marketing agency with graphs and arrows going up and stuff. It's actually a bird that you see on the slideshow. And it's about, I'm very attracted to the nature. So the website talks a lot about nature. And a lot of people love that because it makes them think different when they see 5 competitor websites and ours is the one they stop. So think about more in terms of how you can help them to connect with you in this noise. This is SEO process, stands for search engine optimization, very critical part, but it's also the complex part of your website. If you want to be found on Google, and now the new generation tools that people are using to search for you is the GPT tools. I get so many people who search for me on ChatGPT or Gemini, Copilot, Anthropic, Claude. Those are all AI search tools, right? So those are, if you're not using those, I have a slide, you should be getting into those immediately. That's what people are searching for. Apple, you probably have seen Google lost its lot of share. The shares went down when Apple said they're not going to use Google as the default search engine anymore. You guys heard about that news? Like the Siri and all, they use Google as the back-end engine, but they're not going to use that anymore. They're trying to buy Perplexity. That's another, it's an Indian-owned company, Perplexity, Sanjay, and they're trying to buy that as their AI search engine. So Google lost their share because a lot of people are now shifting into, because nobody wants 10 links to find an answer, they want the answer. And that's what the GPT tools do. You have a question?
So based on the examples of these AI tools, how would you rank or which one would you say the top 3 are? So if Google's no longer going to be the top.
Yeah, it again depends on what the purpose is, because ChatGPT is really good for general stuff to go on, but Claude is good for any scripting or presentation. So this presentation is built on Claude. Claude, C-L-A-U-D-E. That's the GPT tool I used. I try everything, but none of them gave me what I wanted, and the Claude gave me that. Gemini is good for Google, but if you want top 3, ChatGPT, Claude, and I would stick with Copilot with Microsoft. But again, it's the purpose. You know, you want proposals, you want pictures, you want videos created, or you're looking for a marketing material created. Every tool does it better than someone else. And there's, for presentations, there's also another AI tool called Gamma that does it, and that creates all the pictures, everything for you. You just have to move a few things around the day before and you're good. Content, again, you know, we talked about it, having all of these assets on your website and social is very important. And it's not just one thing anymore. Having a website does not do anything. You got to keep up with these ongoing stuff. Like video content is good. People love visuals now. Blog articles, publishing is good. We recommend 2 or 3 a week that goes on your website. Case studies, talk about your success stories, and let them read about it. Let them know about it. And if your customers are okay to give testimonials, I would bring testimonials, put it on your website. So this is the, I put in some of those examples like you were talking about. So based on the importance or the categorization of the function, some of these tools are pretty good. If you have not tried these, I would highly recommend you try it. Anybody here uses Grammarly? You can't live without it now, right? I don't know how to spell. You know, my kids come and say, how do you spell this? Then I'm like typing it on my Grammarly, because I don't know. I mean, it's also making us, you know, go backwards, lazy or like, you know, non-tech, but it gets my stuff. It tells me 3 variations and 4 tones to use for that email or any article that I write. Different tones. You want a professional tone, you want casual tone, you want like, you know, friendly tone. I change it up based on who I'm talking to. Perfect. Without me doing any of that work, you know, it automatically changes the layers, and you get an email perfect, and the client or whoever the, you know, destination person loves it. You can use it for emails. You can use for content writing, graphics and stuff. Canva is good. Canva, it's an Australian company. They do it. If you're not using that, that's wonderful. Like drag and drop, you can build infographics. You can tell, hey, I wanted this system infographic. With doing these 5 things, can you give me some examples? It's going to do it right there, and within next 10 minutes you have content that you can publish.
You want to just tell them about ChatGPT and that the fact that you need to fact check.
Yeah.
So again, one of my personal experiences last week, I was preparing an e-blast to send out to potential sponsors and to remind sponsors that the gala is coming up. So ChatGPT decided that this was for next year's gala. So though I typed in this year's gala, the email I got said September 27th, 2026. And I didn't read it, I sent it out to everybody. And then Sheetal called me and said, sir, you got the date wrong. So then I had to do a corrective email and send it out. So ChatGPT kind of beat me in their logic, thinking it's too close for this year, it's probably next year. So the lesson learned is you've got to read what it creates to make sure there are no mistakes.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I said, the presentation is 70% GPT and 30% humanized. You cannot do anything without, that's where, we still are needed. Of course they say in next 5 to 6 years, the AI tools are going to rewrite their own code and they'll stop listening to us. So we'll see how that, like the iRobot movie and the Terminator, maybe we're dealing with that situation. So, but we still got 5-6 years, so let's use all of that and grow as much, and then we'll deal with it later.
So don't worry, we'll have a robot speaking next year.
It could happen. Things are happening. Selfless, driverless cars are already on the road. Taxi comes without a driver. I don't know if you're going to get into it or not, but people are doing it. It's already in Austin and LA and all those places.
Walk up to the gate and immigration doesn't check you. They do a facial recognition.
Yeah, it's. Costco, is it Costco or Sam's already does that? Before they used to look at the receipt. Now you just walk through. They already know what it is. You don't have to stop and go. It's happening again. The AI revolution is there. So that's why I said we thought instead of fighting it, you got to embrace it, use it, get to the next level, and kind of beat your competition. Again, GEO we talked about. That's the new term. SEO is a search engine optimization. GEO is a generative engine optimization. So people are now searching more on GPT tools because they get an answer right away, not links. So that's where you want to definitely focus on your next level opportunity. Your 30-day action plan, like anything else, again, a lot of this information is good only if you implement. That's exactly what my coach used to say. I'll tell you all the good stuff, but you go home and forget about all this. There's no value. Clear your foundation first. Primarily, you need to have the right tools in place, evaluate your strategy, see what you have, what you don't. Learn your consumer first, again, because that's the person who's making a decision maker. You are not building your website, social media, or any kind of marketing for you. It's for them, remember, for your consumer, because they are the ones looking at it, making a decision. Build content. Again, have a content strategy before you buy any tools. Anything that you sign up with, do not sign up until you know how you're going to use this tool, because there's a lot of usage that need to be built into it. Then, of course, once you build it and optimize, look at all the different tools that are available from Google. Google Webmaster Tools is perfect for you guys. If you have a website, any kind of marketing to learn and see what's working and what's not, because how are you going to make changes to it if you don't know what's not working? You're just continuously doing the same thing, expecting different results. That's a bad choice. And again, build engagement with a lot of that's one step. A lot of people are really not so comfortable to constantly send it to people, because you can't really go talk to everybody every time, but you can talk to them once, then continue to nurture them through the process, like networking events and stuff. So make sure you stay in touch with them, because out of mind, completely out of the complete sequence. Right now, everybody is competing for the same process, same product. There's always somebody next to you waiting for that consumer to become their customer. So once they're gone mostly. So this is your bird's eye view, how everything kind of goes into the top, whatever you're building, like your videos, your social, all of those pieces. That's to build awareness. And once the connection is done, then your funnel starts. So then they call you, that's a lead opportunity, then you become a prospect, you answer questions, you stay in touch with them, you give them enough information to become their customers. But the top line is what you're trying to do, because the more bigger the top funnel is, the wider the bottom funnel gets. Again, this is all of these slides kind of reflect what I see on a daily basis with my customers. A lot of people, they implement, they have a plan, but they don't know how to measure and make it right, because Google changes its algorithm every 3 months, whenever they want. And when the algorithm changes, you are nowhere in that list, and everything that worked last year doesn't work anymore. If you don't measure, you don't see the results and see where you're kind of lagging, or what changed and what's causing the problem, you're not going to be able to make any changes to what you want to achieve, which means your results are going to be fading. And that's where, instead of going up in your curve, you're going down, and you don't, maybe you're not seeing that right away, but it generally is a lot of small businesses kind of see this kind of experience after 5 years, and it's too late to do anything because you can't turn it around. It takes time. So it's always good to see what's being built and what are the results and what's working, what's not, make adjustments as needed. That way you're constantly evolving and making it better. I threw in some success stories. We got tons of success stories. That's one thing, everything that I just talked about, if you go to my website, you're going to see exactly how the flow looks like. It has all the case studies, testimonials, reviews, pain points. What do we do? Help you with what you're going through. So that kind of attracts a lot of our customers. We do get a lot of inbound marketing. When I started the company, I was everywhere in the community. Networking, because I was in an oil and gas company. I was an IT director, and I walked out with nothing and have no idea how to talk to small businesses. And the first place I started is Chamber, and I just used to go there all the time. Of course, the food was always good, so that attracted me. That, if nothing else, I used to say, okay, let's go have a snack. They have some food today. But the connections that I build are still available now. We work with 5 to 6 chambers. We do their websites, we help them out. We work with the city of Humble. We have a complete ecosystem with them. Montgomery County, complete ecosystem. But that all grew with me just walking to these events. And Jagdeep, you always have been a great inspiration.
Talk about the 10,000 small businesses.
Before I start, I wanted to say one thing about Jagdeep. Your energy, I know, but we have to say that. But the energy is so good. I always think how he does it. I know you said. So one thing that I also experienced really well that I would recommend anybody interested is to check out Goldman Sachs 10,000 10KSB. I was there a few years ago when I was in a dilemma at a fork in my business world. I didn't know which way to take, and I was very confused because we are breaking the barriers. Everybody goes to this like a glass ceiling. You hit the glass ceiling, you're like, I don't know what to do now. I'm confused. You got to hire more people, and you don't know have the experience, and you have to have more customers, more research to do more services. I was very confused. Then I went to 10KSB. Everybody up there has the same problem. In the same boat, they're up there. So I was like, oh, okay, so it's not just me. Everybody's dealing with it. Okay, great.
What's the criteria to join if you want to?
I think that you need to have a minimum 3 years in business, and I think it's $1 million in revenue, or maybe you check the details. If you go to 10ksb.com, they might have changed some of those aspects, but I would recommend if you want to deal with it.
We can send you the details, because for everyone in this group who has not heard of 10,000 Small Businesses by Goldman Sachs, I strongly recommend that program because it's a free program. All you're doing is investing your time, but the real advantage is the alumni base. So you will have hundreds of Sivas in the alumni base that now are part of your family, and they can help you grow.
Yep.
So that's why I wanted Siva to talk about it, because he's one of the success stories of that program.
Yeah.
And it leads to not only learning from each other, but business opportunities. Back to your program.
Correct. Yeah. Again, networking, the first thing I always say is building your base and community, right? The byproduct of that is always sales. You get an opportunity and then people want your help. And the 10KSB, one good thing is it's not just Houston or Texas, but it's all over US. So I get to talk to people from all over the US through the portal, alumni. And a lot of people, they ask questions that I answer, and they want to work with me. And now it becomes like that pull marketing strategy than me trying to say, hey, I can do this, you want to work with me. Nobody wants sales pitch anymore. I think we'll wrap this up. I think a couple more slides.
And then we've got about 5 minutes for questions and answers, because I'd like to finish on time.
Sure. Yeah, we can. A lot of the stuff, again, we covered. Once you get the presentation, it's a good one to go through. And if you have something that doesn't make sense or something that you're dealing with, again, reach out to me one-on-one, because everybody's situation, experience will be different. And so we can talk about all that on a Zoom call. Yeah, you guys know what to do. That's my contact info, the QR code, and all the good stuff. Any questions right now? Anybody wants to talk about their situation? Again, doesn't have to be a question. You can talk about your experience, anything you want people to know about this topic, what you learned and what, BJ. Here, let me give you the mic. So.
No, I'm loud enough.
Okay.
Okay, just a very simple question. And I'm going to be very honest that a few years back I wanted to use your services to get my website designed, but budget was not matching. I got something hosted on the GoDaddy. So is it a possibility that we can consult with you at some charge to get something refined in what you have? What you had offered that was like a little too big for my structure. What I have that served okay, but I have no idea whether it's doing any good to me or not. So is there a possibility we can do a consultation with you?
Yeah, the answer is yes. So when we talk to all the business, I speak to a lot of business owners all over Houston, and now Zoom became the new local. So we have a client in Alaska. So the question is, if you have certain questions or pain points, what's working, what's not, and you need to see more behind the scenes of the website, we got the tools and the expertise to tell you exactly where the failure point is. And so there is a free, 1 hour free consultation. There's no charge for that. You and I talk about it. Once I know what you're going through, I can give you some reports that will help you to see what can be done. If you or somebody you know is helping you out, then they can follow the steps to take it to the next level.
I have one additional request of Siva. My request is that the way today he gave us a general overview. Most people who are in business do have a website. So if we could invite Siva back in the near future, not too far down, to talk about what you need to know to build your website.
Yeah.
And what I want to do for that particular event is make sure we have other chambers involved, the Fort Bend Chamber, the Black Chamber, the other chambers, because then the message that you give percolates to a much larger audience than just our members, and in return it might lead to some leads for you.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that offline, but I was going to ask you that because Vijay's point is very valid, that if you have a kind of a consultancy role where you spend, the first hour is free, but if you have to spend more time, it could be fee based, but you could guide people. But more importantly, if you could just guide the community on what they need to know to build a successful website. We learn from you because we work with you, but not everybody is doing that.
Right.
And listening to you, I realize there are a lot of things that we need to be doing a lot better, because we don't make enough time to do what we need to do. Because one of the things that I pointed out and he pointed out was, you have to spend the time to make it work. The web designer is not going to do it. You as the owner of the website has to do it. Back to you, Siva.
There's a
Any
question.
other questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to clarify something that you mentioned. If I create something using any one of the AI tools, I take the complete ownership that nobody else can. Is that's the message I got?
With
Talking one first line.
correct. So
So his point is, who owns the copyright? So you said it's auto-generated for you.
right.
So do you own the copyright? Does ChatGPT own the copyright?
So depending on the prompt that you put in, so the prompt is the question that you ask to the GPT tools to create the content or anything. You have to mention that, humanize it as much as possible and make it non-copyrighted material for me. So it doesn't use any of those other aspects that it uses by generic, because what it's doing is it's learning from other assets on the web, right? That you have to specify why you're doing this. Like for example, presentation like this, I'm okay to do it because this is not online.
But
if
it's going online now.
Oh, it could, I mean, for example, right, but I mean, those are all real, like the GPT created AI tools, I mean, AI images and all, so it's copyrighted, but the prompt defines what you want, but again, you know, the another thing, typically in the future that you are going to end up doing it is you take a GPT response and everything that I do, that's what I do. I take the presentation and feed it to another tool and say, check all this and make sure there's no copyright material and let me know of any changes. The tools do that. Like, you know, you have to interchange, use each one, and it comes up and saying, yeah, everything looks good except this one image. Let's swap it. I swapped it for you. Do you like it?
I've also seen certain people reach out to state at the bottom that we have used ChatGPT or this
You're right.
to create this.
Yeah, again, right now it's still in the infancy stage. Everybody's trying to figure out the tools, but ChatGPT, OpenAI just released its biggest release last week. It's a complete game changer. And of course the Grok 3, I don't know if anyone uses Grok with the by Elon Musk, you know, okay, looks like you are definitely on the cutting edge. You know, that's XAI. You know, Elon Musk, he's saying that, you know, Grok is going to create code and aspects that no other tool will come closer. So they are becoming very competitive in the market. So it's good. The more they build, the more we use, the better for our community.
Vijay, photo time.
I'm ready.
I want to invite Ashok Garg and Swapn Dhairyawan to join Sheetal and I here. As you want to step down?
Oh.
I don't want to step up.
No.
Again, as I said, our
Thank
next
you.
event
Appreciate
is going to be with
Awesome.
April
All
Day.
the best to you.
All right,
With
thank
the
you.
WBA, we'll be announcing
Let
it
me
tomorrow.
put you in the box.
It'll either be here or at Wallace Bank. And I'm
thank
going to
you.
ask Siva if he's willing to come back one more time to spend maybe 30 minutes before the program, one of our programs, to just talk about what you need to know about creating a website.
Sure.
Because the more we learn from him, the better we will be. And he's very generous with his time. And I'm hoping it will also lead to business for him. Thank you very much, Siva. Really
Thank you.
appreciate you making the time. There is still lunch out there. Please help yourselves. The formal program is over. The space is available for the next 30 minutes for networking. Yeah. Let's have a whole group photograph. Everybody